So we do have a question here from a viewer, and it is about the sense of timing. And I was asked to ask you about that because I feel a lot of people feel that time is speeding up, the whole concept of time is changing.
Hmm.
So I wanted to ask you, how do you feel in regards to astrology being a time-based divination tool? And so is astrology changing as well? Can we rely on the timing still? Can we go back in time and say, okay, whatever Uranus did that at a certain time in history, and now we can expect similar? Is it what's your sense of the whole timing scheme and astrology right in it?
Okay.
And
Yeah,
it's,
that's a
it's a
lot.
big question.
That's a lot going on in that question and a few different
Sorry, okay.
things.
Yeah, yeah.
One
Let's
thing I would say is I do think absolutely something is going on with our perception of time. What I've
Mm,
when I hear people that are more up to date on all the different scientific quantum, I don't know if quantum, I think quantum's still a good term for it.
mhm.
You'll when you see people presenting on this, what a lot of the current thought is about time being an illusion and time
Yes.
being relative in many ways with our experience. And there is definitely something that's going on about time being sped up. I think with as humans also as part of this, all the electronic devices, the
Hmm.
internet, the high wattage, whatever we're at now is it beyond 5G, but we have all the, we're carrying around these powerful devices. It'd be just all the different frequencies and things going
Yeah.
on. And you could just be constantly, someone could be constantly on a device or a screen
Mhm.
like all the time, getting
Yeah.
more information than it's really, we're not set up really to process all of this. And I do think with all of this and in the news cycle, like things are being sped up. I mean, the instantaneous communication and the speed, things moving that fast, that absolutely has an effect on our perception of time. There's an interesting thinker, Paul Virilio, that has a whole bunch of thought on speed, and
Mhm.
he wrote a long time ago. But a lot of when you look at his work, Paul Virilio's work now, it sounds very somewhat prophetic about just seeing where things were going and what we're experiencing now. With that, though, I think we have our own ability. That's part of what I think Chiron and Taurus could be really powerful for with the slowing down or connecting back to the body or clearing the mind through meditation or practices or being outside, being away from all of this technological things that are creating this feeling of time speeding up. And I think with astrology, if you're just constantly getting lots of information and constantly just looking,
Mhm.
if there's still an experience of all this information coming and it's too much, and I have to mediate this myself as being somebody that creates content and speaks and teaches and so forth.
Mhm.
Um, that can just also heighten this feeling
Mhm.
of things speeding up and too much information. But I don't think that astrology itself, part of that question was, I don't think
Mhm.
astrology, the timing of astrology is off. There is something that's sacred about time, and there is a
Mhm.
way that the cycles of astrology and the great cycles of time that people have tracked, anciently going as far back as, as we can go, be before recorded history. It's always been there, and
Yeah.
I believe on our planet, it's always going to be there. We're with how this can be. So astrology can be one of the ways to try to connect into more of a sacred time
Yes.
quality. And although, just because something happened the last time Uranus was in Gemini doesn't mean it's going to happen this time, or just because the last time we had Neptune in Aries and Uranus in Gemini and something happened, that doesn't necessarily mean the same thing
Mm.
is going to happen now. There are though some very consistent patterns across time that we can track with these cycles, and it's been so striking with the Saturn Neptune conjunction and everything else going on right now with Pluto and Aquarius and our early experience of Uranus and Gemini. We're seeing all these same historical patterns
Yeah.
repeating. So even though Saturn and Neptune on that 0 point of Aries combined with Uranus and Gemini trine Pluto and Aquarius to me is a real wild card. It's still, we're seeing the wild card nature of how much has changed so fast. Things are happening that line up in these
Mm.
historical patterns. So that pattern finding you can find with astrology is definitely holding to me. We just have to always remember too, there can be really multivalent ways that this can show up. And um, so
Mm.
what we can see though is like we're in, I mean, we would have been me and many other people were predicting just total change, irrevocable, the type of dramatic change we're having
Yeah.
is not surprising. So
Mm.
it's the we can still use the cycles of astrology for help and guidance and everything like that. But
Mm.
yeah, there's definitely a major thing going on with this with time speeding up, and I know we can say that's been going on for a while, but I do have to say that I have felt personally that that has really been intensified
Mm.
with the Saturn Neptune conjunction in Aries. Something about the way that was
Yes.
already happening has gotten this like injection of fuel. I don't know what the right analogy is, but it's even faster. It's like
Mm.
it's something. Yeah, so it's definitely something we have to be very mindful of, especially like Uranus and Gemini
Yes.
combined with Neptune and Aries. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, thank you so much for that beautiful explanation. And I love that you say that astrology and the timing of it, there's a sacredness to it. And
Mm,
also that it's I also find that yes, we can look at, of course, everything has a cyclical nature, but it doesn't mean it's going to repeat itself the same way. Because I feel like we are all growing, evolving, transforming, and there's a new consciousness that is opening up. So I feel um yeah, there's to keep it yeah, keep it open and let things unfold the way they do rather than narrowing it down. This is gonna happen because it did happen in the past, or so I feel that's also much more, I feel, empowering for people, that we create our reality with the consciousness we have right now and how we further evolve and so yeah, that I love that. That makes a lot of sense. And yeah, thanks for answering such a big, vast question.